feel like this story with the Olympics is the one that takes the cake, and that means it starts off the show today, which is Bev Priestman. You may not have known her name before a couple of days ago, but you certainly know now. What a fall from grace. Removed, out, as the coach of Canadians' Olympic team by the Canadian Olympic Committee. The decision came after soccer decided to suspend Priestman for the remainder of the tournament. What did she do? Well, apparently she was aware, at the very least, allegedly, that drones were flown over practice sessions for the opponent that Canada was going to face at the Olympic Games. You talk about insane. This is true. Now, Priestman was adamant at practice, saying that she had no knowledge whatsoever. Let me make this clear. She said she had no knowledge whatsoever of the drone use. So it doesn't add up that Canada would suspend her and then remove her. So I don't know. I have a feeling this is going to end up being on Netflix or ESPN's 30 for 30 at some point. But that's what we know right now. She's out. Drones were flown. Somebody was trying to acquire information about New Zealand. Needless to say, no one is rooting for Canada in the Olympics. That's for sure. Except maybe people in Canada. All right. Major League Baseball yesterday, a no-hitter. Dylan Cease ended up throwing it. 114 pitches. Of course, he came over from the White Sox in the offseason to the Padres, nearly threw a no-hitter a couple of years ago, but a really strong performance from a team that needed it. The Padres are in the thick of the National League wild card race. Probably not the division winner. The Dodgers, I think, are probably going to end up doing that. Needless to say, it was a lot of pitches for Cease, and you generally don't see this happen that often in baseball, but Cease said that he was happy that he was able to go the distance and complete the no-no.
Did you do some lobbying after that inning? Because it looked like the congratulatory handshake, a nice job. What went on after that conversation?
Yeah, he said nice job, and I looked up and it was like 94 pitches, and I just said I feel great, and if we get through the next one in like 105, then I've thrown 113 this year, and so he thankfully they let me talk him into it, and then here we are.
Good stuff from Dylan Cease yesterday post-game. Also good stuff from the U.S. women's soccer team. They pull off a 3-0 victory over Zambia. First time you've ever heard Zambia twice on a TV show. It's me doing it 2 days in a row. 3-0. Mallory Swanson had 2 goals. Of course, her husband is Dansby Swanson. Meanwhile, for those of you who are looking to watch Major League Baseball on Comcast, if that's your provider, I know it's been annoying. Over the last couple of months, there's been this blackout or this issue where the carriage had not been able to carry the games because of arguing about the compensation. According to The Athletic, it looks like this is coming to an end as Diamond Sports is going to allow these to broadcast once again. There is so much uncertainty in the future with this Diamond Sports Group, just generally speaking. They've already relinquished a few teams' control over broadcasting their games. There's some talk that they could be bankrupt. There's other talk that they may be purchased by Amazon. Needless to say, Major League Baseball is watching this very closely. And again, they have taken over some of the broadcasts. But for the time being, if you're a Comcast user and you're looking to watch your team and you haven't been able to, it looks like you'll be able to watch them again soon. All right, Olympic ceremonies getting underway in Paris. Snoop Dogg, Simone Biles, LeBron James, you got it all. Coco Gauff carrying USA flags. Everybody's involved. A lot of fun to watch. LeBron James getting ready for their first matchup coming up this weekend. The Argentina Football Association, known as the AFA, have made a formal complaint to FIFA and their disciplinary committee following the incidents during their Wednesday's loss to Morocco. A pitch invasion by fans of Morocco happened after Argentina's Christian Medina scored deep into stoppage time. There were bottles and cups and even firecrackers thrown at players during their goal celebration. Not sure what's going to be accomplished by this protest, but at the very least, they wanted to make the protest. Meanwhile, tennis has seen a lot of the players drop out of the Olympic Games for injury. We may have another one. Rafael Nadal, a thigh injury, has his status coming up in doubt. His coach, Carlos Moya, says he still has some discomfort. His first match is Saturday. It's a doubles event with Carlos Alcaraz, who was one of the favorites to take the gold. We'll see if Rafael Nadal participates in Paris. Now, as I mentioned, it's a fun time of the year for Major League Baseball fans, especially for those of you who have teams that are in it, because you're getting players to hopefully get you a little bit further. Indeed, that happened for two teams yesterday. The Seattle Mariners overnight acquired Randy Arozarena from the Tampa Bay Rays. Arozarena, of course, had a tremendous run with Tampa Bay, helping them to a World Series as well in 2020. As I reported yesterday, the Arizona Diamondbacks have acquired A.J. Puck, left-handed relief pitcher. In return, the Marlins get a very hot-hitting young prospect named De Los Santos, who has 28 home runs for the Diamondbacks this season and played in the Futures game. The Los Angeles Dodgers saw Clayton Kershaw back on the mound for the first time this year. They beat the Giants in his return. Kershaw said, to be able to get back out there at Dodger Stadium is something I've thought about a lot, and it meant a lot. I'm sure it did. Meanwhile, The Athletic also reported yesterday that Christian Yelich, with yet another back issue in his season, has decided to rest and rehab rather than undergo surgery. I discussed this on the show yesterday. It does seem to me that Yelich is going to try to come back for a postseason run, but probably going to be out for an extended period of time and could have surgery after the season. Over in the National Football League, training camp continues, and folks, the Hall of Fame game is coming up next Sunday. Kind of crazy. Russell Wilson may not be participating anytime soon in the preseason or maybe even on the field. Who knows? He has some calf tightness, and on Thursday he was off the field, and guess who was on the field at quarterback? Justin Fields, the quarterback that they acquired in the offseason. He took all the first-team reps. The team is saying it's not a serious issue for Wilson, but with the way the teams treat that first NFL preseason game, we may not see Russell Wilson play in a Steelers uniform until the middle of August. Meanwhile, Michael Badgley, the kicker of the Detroit Lions, suffered a hamstring issue while warming up, diagnosed with a torn hamstring, and not going to play this season. The Lions, high-scoring Lions, need a kicker. They score a lot of points, and some extra points, too. Michael Badgley's not going to be their kicker this season. Jamar Chase looking for a new contract. Zach Taylor said that him missing practice is an agreed-upon plan with him and Chase. He's looking for a new deal. Tua Tagovailoa looking for a new deal. Jordan Love looking for a new deal. All of these players are at their camp saying the right things, some of them practicing more than others. And meanwhile, longtime executive and player agent Mike Ornstein passed away, served as the NFL's vice president of marketing, and also represented former Heisman Trophy Award winner, I think I could say that now, by the way, Reggie Bush in 2006. 2010, he was sentenced to 8 months in prison for conspiring to scalp Super Bowl tickets. While serving his term, Ornstein sent emails to Saints PR promising $5,000 to Saints players who delivered hard hits to former Packers Aaron Rodgers and Panthers quarterback Cam Newton. I'm sure you guys remember that with the Saints bounty as well.